The sound of the slap echoed across the downtown intersection like a gunshot, and 8-year-old Anya's small body hit the pavement hard. Blood trickled from her split lip as she looked up at the businessman towering over her, his face twisted with disgust. "I told you to get away from my car, you filthy little rat." His briefcase was still raised, ready to strike again. "You people make me sick, begging for handouts instead of working." He didn't finish the sentence, because 30 feet away, 6 motorcycles had just stopped at the red light, and 6 pairs of eyes had witnessed exactly what happened. The man didn't hear the engines cut off, didn't hear the kickstands drop, didn't notice the wall of leather and chrome closing behind him, until a voice like gravel and thunder spoke directly into his ear. "That's a child you just hit." The businessman spun around and found himself face to face with a mountain of a man, 6'7", arms covered in tattoos, wearing a leather vest that read Desert Wolves MC across the back. His road name, Raven, was stitched above his heart. Behind him stood 5 more bikers, forming a semicircle that cut off every escape route. They weren't yelling, weren't threatening. Their calm was somehow more terrifying than rage would have been. She was bothering me," the businessman stammered, his bravado evaporating. "She was bothering you." Raven's voice was flat, devoid of emotion. "So you hit her?" "She's just a street kid. They're always—" "She's 8 years old." Another biker stepped forward, a woman with silver hair and eyes like chips of ice. Her vest read Storm. "And you're a grown man who just assaulted a child. Want to explain how that's acceptable?" On the ground, Anya tried to scramble backward, terror replacing the pain on her face. These were bikers, big, scary-looking people her grandmother had warned her about, men in leather who looked dangerous. And now they were surrounding the man who'd hit her, and she didn't know if things were about to get better or infinitely worse. Her lip throbbed, her cheek was already swelling, and she could taste copper in her mouth. "Listen, this is none of your business." The businessman tried, pulling out his phone. "I'm calling the police. These people are threatening me." "Good idea." Raven pulled out his own phone. "Call them. Tell them you assaulted a minor in front of 6 witnesses. Tell them you hit a child so hard she's bleeding." "I'll wait." The businessman's hand froze. "That's what I thought." Storm moved past him and knelt beside Anya, her movement slow and careful. "Hey, sweetheart. My name's Sarah, but everyone calls me Storm. Can you tell me your name?" Anya pressed herself against the concrete. Try and become invisible. "I didn't mean to bother him. I just asked if he had spare change. I said please. I was polite. Grandma taught me to always be polite." "Sure, it's okay." Storm's voice was impossibly gentle. "You didn't do anything wrong. Nothing at all. Can I look at your lip? Are you going to hurt me too?" The question made every biker within earshot go rigid. "No, honey, never. We're going to help you. I promise." Storm pulled a clean handkerchief from her pocket. "I just want to make sure you're not hurt too badly. Is that okay?" Anya nodded hesitantly. Storm dabbed at the blood carefully, her weathered hands impossibly gentle. Behind them, Raven turned his attention back to the businessman, who was now sweating despite the cool October air. "Here's what's going to happen," Raven said quietly. "You're going to apologize to that little girl. Sincerely. Then you're going to give me your business card, your full name, and your employer's information. Then you're going to walk away and pray we don't press charges on her behalf. You can't. Or," Raven continued as if he hadn't spoken, "we call the police right now. Multiple witnesses to child assault. Cameras on every corner of this intersection. How do you think that looks in court? How do you think that plays at your office when they find out their employee beats children in the street?" The businessman's face went from red to white. "I have a family." "So does she." Another biker spoke up, younger, maybe 30, with kind eyes and a gentle voice. His vest read Preacher. "You think she doesn't have people who love her? People who'll be devastated to see her come home with a busted lip and a black eye. I didn't mean, it was just she wouldn't leave me alone. She's 8. Storm's voice cut like a knife without ever rising above conversational level. 8 years old. Probably hungry. probably desperate, and your response was violence. She turned back to Anya, whose lip had stopped bleeding but whose face was already bruising. Sweetheart, where's your grandmother? Is she nearby? Anya pointed down the street with a trembling hand. 3 blocks. She's selling flowers at the corner by the church. She doesn't know I came here. She told me to stay close, but I thought maybe if I asked people in nice cars, they might help. We need medicine for Grandma's cough, and we didn't have enough in the flowers today. Her voice broke. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make him mad. I'll be good. Please don't tell Grandma I bothered people. You didn't bother anyone, Preacher said firmly, kneeling beside Storm. You asked for help. That's not bothering. That's being brave. But he said he was wrong. Raven's voice softened slightly as he looked down at the girl. Adults can be wrong, Anya. And when they are, other adults need to step in and make it right. He turned back to the businessman. Apologize. Now. The man looked at the circle of bikers, at the growing crowd of onlookers with their phones out, at the security cameras mounted on every building, and made his calculation. His career or his pride. He chose his career. I'm sorry, he mumbled toward Anya. I shouldn't have hit you. Look at her when you apologize, Storm commanded. She deserved that much respect. The businessman crouched down, not quite meeting Anya's eyes. I'm sorry I hit you. It was wrong. Better. Raven held out his hand. Business card. Now. With shaking hands, the businessman pulled out his wallet and extracted a card. David Morrison, Senior VP, Morrison Financial Group. Raven photographed it with his phone, then photographed the man's driver's license for good measure. If we hear about you doing anything like this again to anyone, this goes viral and to the police. Understood? Yes, the man whispered. Good. Get out of here. David Morrison practically ran to his Mercedes, nearly tripping over himself in his haste to escape. His tires squealed as he peeled out of the intersection. The moment he was gone, the biker's demeanor shifted completely. The intimidating wall of muscle and leather became 6 people focused entirely on one scared little girl. Okay, Anya, Storm said gently. Let's get you to your grandmother. Can you walk? Yes, ma'am. And please call me Sarah. Ma'am makes me feel ancient. She smiled, and Anya saw genuine warmth there. How about we give you a ride? My bike has a passenger seat, and it's much faster than walking. Anya's eyes went huge. A real motorcycle? A real one. Have you ever ridden on one? No. Grandma says they're dangerous. They can be if you're not careful. But we're very careful. And I think your grandmother will forgive the motorcycle ride when she sees we're bringing you home safe. Raven pulled out his wallet and extracted several bills. Preacher, run to that pharmacy we passed 2 blocks back. Get children's pain reliever, antiseptic, bandages, and ask the pharmacist what they recommend for a bad cough. Don't care what it costs. Preacher nodded and jogged off. Raven then pulled out more cash and handed it to Storm. And we're making sure they have enough for food, and rent, and whatever else they need. You don't have to, Anya started. We know we don't have to. Another biker interrupted. An older man with gray in his beard and kind eyes. His vest read, Pops. We want to. That's what makes it a gift. Storm helped Anya to her feet carefully. Come on, sweetheart. Let's get you home. And I want to meet this grandmother of yours who's raising such a polite, brave granddaughter. The 3-block ride took 2 minutes. Anya sat in front of Storm on the Harley, holding tight, her fear gradually transforming into wonder. The other 5 bikes followed in formation, engines rumbling like protective thunder. They found Anya's grandmother exactly where the girl had said, an elderly woman wrapped in a threadbare shawl, selling wilted flowers from a cardboard box. Her face was weathered by sun and hardship, her hands gnarled from arthritis, and when she saw her granddaughter climbing off a motorcycle with 6 bikers surrounding her, she nearly collapsed. Anya, what happened to your face? She rushed forward, pulling the girl into her arms. Then she looked at the bikers with a mixture of fear and fury. What did you do to her? We didn't do anything except help, Storm said gently. A man downtown hit her. We stopped him and brought her home. Someone hit my Anya? The grandmother's face went from fearful to fierce in an instant. Who? Where? His name is David Morrison. He's been dealt with, Raven said. But your granddaughter has a split lip and some bruising. Our friend went to get medical supplies. As if on cue, Preacher arrived on his bike, a pharmacy bag in hand. Got children's Tylenol antibiotic ointment, butterfly bandages, and the pharmacist recommended this cough syrup with codeine for nighttime. Also got throat lozenges and tea with honey. He handed the bag to the grandmother, who stared at it like it was full of gold. How much do I owe you? She asked quietly. Nothing, Preacher said. It's paid for. I can't accept charity. It's not charity, Storm interrupted gently. It's decency. Your granddaughter asked a man for help, and he assaulted her. The least we can do is make sure she's cared for properly. The grandmother's eyes filled with tears. She looked at her granddaughter's swollen face, at the bikers who surrounded them like protective walls, at the pharmacy bag with medicine she desperately needed but couldn't afford. Why? She whispered. Why would you help us? Because someone needed to, Raven said simply, and we were there. Pop stepped forward. Ma'am, I'm going to be direct. You and your granddaughter are living rough, aren't you? No stable housing. The grandmother's chin came up defensively. We manage. I keep her fed. Keep her clean. She's in school most days when we can afford the supplies. I'm not judging, Pop said gently. I'm offering help. Real help, not just medicine. He pulled out a business card. This is a shelter run by veterans. It's safe, clean, and they specialize in housing families. They've got social workers who can help you get connected with benefits you might be eligible for. They've got tutors for Anya, medical care, job placement services for you. We're not charity cases. No, you're not, Storm said firmly. You're survivors. You're doing everything you can with what you have. But surviving alone is harder than surviving with help. Let us help. The grandmother looked at Anya, whose lip was swollen and whose cheek was purpling into a bruise. Looked at the medicine she couldn't have afforded. Looked at these scary-looking bikers who'd shown more kindness than anyone had in months. Why do you care? She asked again, her voice breaking. Because we've all been there, Raven said. Every single one of us has been at the bottom, homeless, broke, desperate. And someone helped us. Now we help others. That's how it works. He pulled out his wallet again and handed her a substantial amount of cash. This is for food, for any supplies Anya needs for school, for whatever you need to get stable. It's not a loan. You don't owe us anything. I can't. You can. Storm put her hand over the grandmother's wrinkled one. Please, let us do this. For Anya. The grandmother looked at her granddaughter, who was staring at the bikers with awe instead of fear now. Grandma! They stopped the bad man. They helped me. They're nice. Nice. The grandmother laughed, but it came out as a sob. When I saw you on that motorcycle, I thought, you thought we were dangerous. Pop's finished. We understand. We look intimidating. But we're desert wolves. Our club motto is, protect the pack. And today, you and Anya became part of our pack. Over the next hour, the bikers helped carry the grandmother's flower box to a safer spot. They bought all her remaining flowers, far more than they were worth. They made calls to the veterans' shelter, securing the grandmother and Anya spots that very night. Storm stayed with Anya, carefully cleaning her wounds and applying antibiotic ointment while telling her stories about riding across the country, about the places she'd seen, about how the road could be beautiful when you had people riding beside you. You're going to be okay, Storm told her. Both of you. This isn't the end of your story. It's just a hard chapter. But hard chapters end. Will I see you again? Anya asked quietly. Yes. We're going to check on you. Make sure you and your grandmother get settled. Make sure you're safe. Storm smiled. And someday, when you're old enough, if you want to learn to ride, I'll teach you. Deal. Anya's face lit up despite the bruising. Really? Really. When it was time to leave, Anya hugged each biker. When she got a Raven, she looked up at him way up and said, Thank you for stopping the bad man. I was really scared. I know you were, kiddo, but you're safe now. And if anyone ever hurts you again, you tell your grandma to call me." He pressed another card into her hand, this one with his personal number. "Day or night, doesn't matter. You call, we come. That's a promise." As the bikers mounted their motorcycles to leave, the grandmother called out, "Wait!" They turned. "I never got your names. Your real names." Raven smiled. "I'm Marcus. That's Sarah, David, William, Carlos, and Anthony. But on the road were Raven, Storm Preacher, Pops, Diesel, and Ace. I'm Elena Volkov, and this is my granddaughter, Anya. Nice to officially meet you, Elena," Marcus said. "You've got a brave granddaughter. She stood up for herself, asked for help when she needed it. That takes courage. She learned from her mother," Elena said softly. "My daughter, she died 2 years ago. Cancer. Couldn't afford treatment. Left me with this beautiful girl, and a promise to keep her safe." She straightened her spine. "I've been failing at that promise. Living on streets, selling flowers, letting her beg for change. But maybe today is when things change. Maybe you angels on motorcycles are the answer to prayers I didn't know I was praying." "We're not angels," Sarah said gently. "Just people who give a damn. But yes, today things change. For both of you." 2 weeks later, Elena and Anya were settled in the veteran shelter. Elena had a part-time job at a grocery store with benefits. Anya was enrolled in school full-time, with a backpack full of supplies the Desert Wolves had provided. The bruises on her face had faded to yellow-green and would be gone soon. But the memory of being saved, that would last forever. The bikers visited every Sunday. They brought groceries, helped with homework, told stories that made Anya laugh. They became the family Elena and Anya had lost. 3 months in, Elena pulled Marcus aside. "I got approved for an apartment. Small, but it's ours. Rent controlled. Safe neighborhood. We move in next week." Marcus's face split into a genuine smile. "That's incredible. I'm so proud of you. I couldn't have done it without you. Without all of you." Elena's eyes filled with tears. "You saved us. Truly saved us. You saved yourselves. We just gave you a chance." "No." Elena shook her head firmly. "You gave us back our dignity. You didn't treat us like charity cases or trash to be swept aside. You treated us like people, like we mattered." She pulled out a small envelope. "I know you said we don't owe you anything, but I've been saving every spare dollar I could. It's not much, not even close to what you spent on us, but I need you to take it. Please. I need to feel like I'm paying back even a tiny fraction of what you gave us." Marcus looked at the envelope, then at Elena's proud, determined face. He took it, but he didn't open it. "Thank you," he said simply. "This means more than you know." Later, when he did open the envelope, he found $127 and a letter written in careful, shaky handwriting. "Dear Desert Wolves, you taught me that monsters aren't always the people who look scary. Sometimes monsters wear suits and hit little girls. And sometimes angels wear leather and ride motorcycles. You gave us more than medicine and money and housing. You gave us hope. You showed Anya that good people exist, that the world isn't just cruelty and indifference, that someone cares. I will spend the rest of my life trying to be the kind of person you were to us, trying to help others the way you helped us, trying to see people the way you saw us, with compassion instead of judgment. Thank you for not walking away. Thank you for stopping. Thank you for caring. With eternal gratitude, Elena and Anya Volkov." Marcus shared the letter with the club at their next meeting. There wasn't a dry eye in the room. "This is why we ride," Sarah said softly. "Not for ourselves. For them. For every Elena and Anya out there who need someone to stop and help." 6 months after that day at the intersection, Anya stood in the shelter community room, presenting a project for school. Her topic, real heroes. She'd included photos of the Desert Wolves, told the story of the day they'd saved her, explained how heroes don't always look like they do in movies. Sometimes, she read from her report, her voice clear and strong. Heroes have tattoos and leather vests. Sometimes they ride motorcycles and look scary. But if you're brave enough to look past how someone looks, you might find they have the kindest hearts. The man in the suit hit me because I asked for help. The people who looked dangerous protected me and changed my whole life. I learned that day that you can't judge people by their appearance. You judge them by their actions. And the Desert Wolf's actions showed me what real heroism looks like. She finished with thunderous applause. Her teacher had tears streaming down her face. Later, when Elena picked her up from school, Anya was bouncing with excitement. I got an A, and Mrs. Chin said my project was the best she's ever seen. I'm so proud of you, Dorothea. Elena hugged her tight. Your mother will be so proud, too. I know. Anya looked up at her grandmother. Because I'm brave now, like Marcus said, and I'm going to keep being brave. You've always been brave, little one. Now you just know it. 3 years later, 11-year-old Anya stood in the Desert Wolves clubhouse for the first time. The walls were covered with patches, photos, and memories of decades of riding. It smelled like leather and motor oil and community. Marcus had invited her and Elena for the club's annual charity ride, a 200-mile journey to raise money for homeless families. You ready for your first ride? Sarah asked, handing Anya a helmet. I've been ready since I was 8, Anya said with a grin. She climbed onto the back of Sarah's bike, wrapped her arms around her waist, and felt something settle in her chest. This was family. This was home. This was where she belonged. As they rode, Anya thought about that day 3 years ago. The slap that had echoed across the intersection. The businessman who'd seen her as garbage. The bikers who'd seen her as worth saving. She thought about how one moment of cruelty had been answered with overwhelming compassion. How 6 strangers had become 6 guardians. How the worst day of her life had transformed into the catalyst for the best years. The wind rushed past her face. The engine thrummed beneath her. Sarah's solid presence in front of her radiated safety. Anya had learned many lessons in her 11 years, but the most important one came from that intersection. The scariest-looking people are sometimes the kindest. The people society tells you to fear are sometimes the ones who save you. And family isn't always blood. Sometimes it's chosen, forged in moments of crisis, built on foundations of compassion. Today, Anya volunteers at the shelter where she and Elena once lived. She helps other kids who are scared and alone. She tells them her story about bikers who stop when nobody else would, about how help can come from unexpected places. Elena works at the shelter now, too, coordinating services for families in crisis. She's become an advocate, fighting for the homeless population, refusing to let anyone dismiss them as just street kids or beggars. And the Desert Wolves? They continue riding, continue stopping, continue proving that heroism isn't about appearance. It's about action. Marcus keeps Anya's school project framed in his office. When new prospects join the club, he shows it to them. This is why we exist, he tells them. Not to look tough or intimidating. Not for the bikes or the brotherhood, though those matter. We exist to be the people who stop when everyone else walks away. To be the ones who see human beings instead of problems. To be the answer when someone's praying for help. We're Desert Wolves. We protect the pack. All of it. Even the members who don't know they're part of it yet. If this story moved you, if it reminded you that heroes wear all kinds of faces and ride all kinds of bikes, share it with someone who needs hope today. Subscribe for more true stories that prove compassion changes everything. Comment below about a time someone surprised you with unexpected kindness, or a time you stopped to help when you could have walked away. Because every act of protection matters. Every moment someone chooses compassion over cruelty changes the world. Every person who stops when they see injustice makes a difference. Be the Desert Wolf in someone's story. Be the person who steps in when a child is hurt. Be the community that says, "You're part of our pack now." That's how we change the world. One slap stopped. One child protected. One family saved. 6 bikers saw a little girl get hit and decided that wasn't acceptable. They didn't just stop the violence. They rebuilt 2 lives. Sometimes the most important thing you can do is simply refuse to walk past suffering. Sometimes heroism is stopping your motorcycle and saying, that's not okay. Sometimes saving someone means showing them they matter. See you in the next story. Keep riding. Keep protecting. Keep stopping when someone needs you to. Because the pack protects its own. Always.